Welcome to this week's edition of Rick Answers His Email. This is the last week I'm going to answer every single email. I'm going to start answering 10, maybe 12 a week. So if you want your question answered, you're going to have to use one of the services I offer on the Ask the Question page at helpmerick.com. So first up today is Andrew, who did use one of those services, and he paid $5 to have priority for me to answer his question. So Andrew, since you're in a large metropolitan area like Denver, you can put an ad maybe in the paper, but cheaper yet, put an ad in Craigslist and just ask for old computers. People would like to give them away if they knew they were going A, to a place that's not going to try to rip them off, B, that is going to get recycled. You may want to pull the hard drives out of them and hand them back to the folks if they're worried about identity theft. That way they know that there's no way you can get anything of theirs. As far as companies go, a lot of times they already have agreements with recycling companies to take the old computers, or they may have some other internal system where they hand the computers down to employees or other types of organizations. But the best thing for you to do is go out and ask. Send out emails, send out a letter, and tell them what your intention is, and go from there. Good luck. Todd's looking for a network driver for his Ethernet card and is not finding it on the HP website. Putting in the proper model number and look on the back of the computer to make sure you should find that driver for Windows XP. If you are having trouble finding it and you can't find it through the HP website, you can try using a Google search to find it. But I think the easiest option would be to go to newegg.com or Tiger Direct and order yourself a new Ethernet card for $9.95. You'll have the driver, put the new one in there, disable the old one, and off you go. Robert, I am liking the Microsoft Security Essentials, and no, you do not want to get rid of the Malwarebytes. They're two different products, and you can use them in conjunction with each other, and the Malwarebytes will be a good complement to the Microsoft Security Essentials. Steve is running into a problem with his Panasonic camera, and there are other cameras out on the market that do the same thing, that will save the video images in a .mod file. The only thing you can do to get that to work properly is get a higher-end video editing program or install the software that came with your Panasonic so that it can help you convert and use those files. Shannon, if you need to send out large group emails, the best thing to do is not use an email program. Gmail, Hotmail, a lot of these places will start identifying you as a spammer because they can't guarantee that all of those names in your address book are legitimate names. And rightfully so. They're just trying to keep spam to a minimum. And it's also harder for you to maintain that kind of a list. But the best thing to do is go to a mailing list company. And if you have your own website, you probably have some mailing list software that's built into the website hosting service that you can use. There's one called just simply Mailing List. There are also other mailing services out there that help you do a really good job at maintaining and sending out your newsletters and your mailing lists. One is called iContact, iContact.com. Another good one is called Constant Contact at ConstantContact.com. They are pay services, but they do offer a very good, robust service that makes it easier for you to maintain your list and easier for your readers to be able to get your emails without having to worry about spam. Like Windows Vista, Windows 7 also has some problems running some older programs, but they also both have, like Windows XP had, what's called the compatibility mode. So go to my website, helpmerick.com, and search for compatibility mode, and you'll run across this article. And this article shows you how to install programs using the compatibility mode, and you can use this same technique in Windows 7. If you have all the volume settings up in your control panel and the volume is up physically on your speakers, it sounds like your speakers are just not producing the volume they once did, and your best bet is probably just get a new pair of speakers. Russell, I'm assuming you're talking about the little cards that you can put into a computer and sometimes even USB devices that'll let you pick up over-the-air TV, or you can even hook a cable to it to get cable TV through your computer. They do work quite well, but just recognize that if you have one computer screen, that you'll probably want to watch it in a small screen, or if you put it in big full screen, you're not going to be able to do other things while you're watching TV on your computer. As long as you understand those shortcomings, they do work quite well. Teresa, no, not too many people are having problems. The directions I have on my website and in that video are exactly as they appear, and if you follow them exactly as laid out, you should have no problems. Absolutely, you can link to my website as long as you yourself are not taking credit for anything on my website. Gary, thanks for the heads up, and thanks for saying thank you. Sandy, for the email, I would definitely try to get her on Gmail. Gmail is the easiest thing to use, and therefore when she's visiting family or friends, She can use Gmail from any computer, and it'll always be familiar to her. As for the screensaver problem you're having, right-click on the desktop anywhere, go to Personalize. When Personalize comes up, you'll see Screensaver right here in the lower right-hand corner. So first of all, increase the time and maybe even choose a different screensaver to make sure everything gets reset, and make sure this box is unchecked so that it doesn't require her to log on every time the screensaver goes away. Harold, it's a good suggestion. I've done it twice this year already, though, so I think I'm going to hold off till later next year before we do another Windows 7 class. Joan, if you take a look at my website at helpmerick.com on backing up favorites or bookmarks, I have all the steps there for you. But certainly if you have 2 gigabytes of online backup for free, you might as well use it, and it should have a wizard that'll help you back those kinds of things up very easily. Pam, you can go to this following website, avg.com/download-tools, and you can download an AVG removal tool that will do the cleanup for you. Since you had a little bit of problem taking it out, run this tool, make sure that AVG is cleaned up, restart your computer, then you can put the new AVG 9 on your computer. John, it's been my experience that any computer within the last 10 years can run Ubuntu pretty well. In order to get it online, it has to have an internal Ethernet card so that you can hook up a high-speed internet connection to it. Some older laptops, the wireless takes a little bit more goofing around to get it to work, but certainly on newer laptops, 5, 6 years and newer, most of the times Ubuntu picks it up and you can get wireless up and running on a laptop. But as far as the other basic needs, it can run on a pretty minimal system, 256 megs of RAM, Pentium 3, preferably a Pentium 4 processor, but a strong Pentium 3 processor will work as well. Bilmira, go back and read my how-to on my website. It's the very first article. I have it attached to the beginning of my website at helpmerick.com, and I have a video there showing you exactly what to do. Justin, you have some leftover problems from a spyware infection, and you're going to want to get rid of all that spyware before these kinds of problems are going to clear themselves up. Try using Combo Fix, Malwarebytes, Spybot Search and Destroy. I have links to all of those on my website at helpmerick.com. Just click this links icon in the upper right-hand corner, and you will find the links to all of those programs. Diane, I'm not sure what kind of problems you're having, but if you follow those steps exactly and watch the video to make sure you see those steps in action, you should have 0 problems. Anne has a series of questions here, unfortunately none of which I can answer via this particular method. Anne, if you really need some help and you're having trouble getting those questions answered, feel free to call me up. It looks like you're here in Grand Junction. Regina, you didn't give me the specifications of your particular computer, but more than likely you have some kind of infection with spyware that's causing this slowdown, or you have just incorrectly configured security software on your computer. You could also have a little bit less RAM than is optimal for your computer. Lots of different things can be happening. You really need to have someone sit down with you if you're not sure how to look at these things and evaluate these things. Have someone sit with you, look at your computer, and clean it up. Because if it's a fairly new Windows XP computer, 5, 6 years or newer, you shouldn't be having these kinds of problems. Dave, you have that shortcut not quite correct. Go back to my website, search for instant shutdown, and you will get to this article. And this article has the exact steps. There's the proper command you want, but go through the steps and watch the accompanying video here in the article, and I think you'll have better luck. Our last question today is from Kathy, who has a cat that caused some problems on her computer, and probably what the cat did was accidentally punch the function key on your computer and then one of the F keys. And most often what happens is they enable the number keypad that's built into all laptop keyboards, and if you do function, probably it's going to be F7 or F8. You're going to have to look at all the F keys at the top of the keyboard and use the function key that's at the bottom left of your keyboard. Use those in combination to find what's going to work to disable what the cat enabled. That's it for this week. Again, next week I'm going to start featuring only 10 or 12 questions, and you can use the services on my website to make sure that your question is one that I answer.